Why did the hippie drown? I don't know why. Because he was too far out.
Everybody's calling SoCal home now, even though you're a East Coaster. Sublime obviously was a massive part of what came out of the early 90s and SoCal, besides the No Doubts of the world that came a few years later with ska. Is that just, I'm sorry, we're doing something here. Do you guys find that you got influenced by local bands around there, or was it because of reggae music that came from the Caribbean?
Definitely, Sublime had a big influence on us. We were always listening to, similar musics, but Sublime, kind of showed us that, there was other sorts of reggae besides Bob Marley and, Sublime, which most people who, listen to reggae, that's the records they have, And Sublime, got us listening to some older stuff and digging and finding some stuff, Horace Andy and, Yellow Man and stuff like that, and just really getting into it. So, yeah, local music definitely opened our eyes up to, other things.
Dirty J and Duddy B really kind of were the two nucleuses that started Dirty Heads. I mean, when you think of a great Jamaican Rasta man named Duddy B, that brings it. Any reason? Where'd it come from?
It was just a nickname that I don't even know exactly where it started, but
it works.
No, I think my mom started calling me when I was younger, and it just kind of was one of those things that everyone calls me that.
Is it a SoCal thing?
Duddy B?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a weird nickname that people started calling me, and it stuck.
So you guys pop around from town to town. You're playing this, like we're calling it, feel-good type of music. Do you, when people go and see a set like tonight, and by the way, you're playing at Marathon Music Works, great club in town here, and if you're hearing our voice right now, marathonmusicworks.com to get your tickets. There's still a few available at the door for the Dirty Heads. Do you guys really? Does everybody kind of have an in unison dance going to one of your guys' shows? Is it pretty much just
The crowd?
yeah? Has everyone got their own thing?
Yeah, I think everybody's got their own thing.
Do they?
Yeah, there's not like a Macarena type thing, like a Dougie. Like there's a dance that they do at our shows, like
twirly whirl.
plan, like a
Or like the
flash
fish,
mob.
like the fish heads doing the twirly whirl or
You
whatever.
got the twirlers in
Well,
the
we got
back.
twirlers. Oh,
You got
dude,
the
people
twirlers in the
watching our
back.
shows. Come on.
Yeah.
You got everyone smashed in the middle trying to hide themselves smoking pot.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep.
you got the couple, wasted people falling over, and then you got all the girls smashed up against the front row. That's
My
kinda-
favorite is the really, really wasted person that doesn't know the lyrics, but they're faking that they know them, so they're just mouthing random things, and then when they see you, they stop because they're like, oh, but they really do. Oh, it's great. It's good.
At least they're mouthing instead of actually yelling out wrong words, right?
That's true. That happens. Oh.
My
Where do you
favorite
grab
are the
the-
people that tap on the stage, but they're off beat, and they're just tapping the whole time at your feet, and stop it.
Is this what you guys always wanted to do? I mean, did anybody want to go and swing a hammer? And just you
I
accidentally
mean, that's
ended
what a
up in
lot of
band?
us were doing before.
Yeah.
I was literally digging a ditch for a sprinkler system when I got a call from my manager, and he was like, "Yo, you just got signed." And I was like, later, Bill Bruton was my boss at the time, drinking Gatorade under an umbrella. And he's like, "No, you're going to finish your ditch." And I was like, "Yeah, right, guy. Get out of here." And then I left.
Guy.
Guyed him hard.
I'm actually glad that you told that story because that's another great example of really how a struggling musician has to make it. Is you can't just wake up one day and just go, well, I'm a rock star and I'm gonna grab a guitar and play music. You got to go out and work, and you got to earn a living.
You got to grind, man. I mean, all the guys had day jobs pretty much through the whole up until a couple years ago. And it wasn't like, oh, we got signed, and then tour buses and sold out shows. We got signed, and then that was just the beginning. That was
Then
the
we had to
beginning
start
of
working.
7 years in a 15-passenger van with 9 dudes barely making enough money to get to the next gig.
Right.
So
Now, and
gotta pay
going back to that Sublime influence, connecting with Rome, and obviously him coming with you guys and kind of putting you guys out there in the national forefront with your big single that Broken Out.
Yeah, that was cool that we got to do that with a friend because he wasn't, at the time when we wrote that song, he wasn't even with Sublime. He wasn't with Eric or Bud at the time. We just he was just this kid that came in the studio. So we didn't think anything was going to come of that song.
He heard what you guys were doing, was like, I'm into this.
He was just a buddy
He was
of ours,
he
you
was
know?
a fan of ours and came in the studio and was working with the engineer and producer that we worked with, and then he just played similar music, and he would always kind of hang out, and we became friends, and then we wrote a song, and it just sat on the shelf. We're like, it's a great song. We'll put it on the next album or something, and it got onto radio, and it became a #1 hit, and we were like, awesome, that was cool, you know. So it was funny the way that worked, but it was cool that we got to do it with a friend, and it made him relevant, and it helped him and Sublime with Rome out, and helped us out.
Yeah, it did. I mean, both entities kind of got the
I feel like
elevation.
we have a very hip hop mentality when it comes to songwriting. You know, like we really like to collaborate with other people. And you listen to some of my favorite songs, or if you do like hip hop or something like that, most of their big songs, there's 4 guys on it. You know,
Like
and
every
it's rad
single one.
because you get other people's, you know, artistic and creative voice on it. So it's fun for us. So we always like doing that. Like on Your Love that we just played, we got Kaimani Marley on it. Not only were we paying homage to Bob Marley, we got his son to come and do it. You know, that's rad.
We're actually coming up on almost a year that Cabin by the Sea's been out
Yeah.
at this point. Do you guys get to a point where you're, I'm ready to play some new tunage after a year playing some tunes?
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody flip-flops between hating and loving songs. There's songs that I hate playing, and then there's songs that I love playing. And then a month from now, I can love the one that I hated. It's really weird. It's really weird.
But do you remember that the fans are there because they want to hear specific
Exactly.
songs?
It's not about what I want to hear. You know,
It's refreshing to hear. Hearing you say that is refreshing.
yeah, and it's like sometimes I don't want to say. People are like, "What's your least favorite song to play?" And you're like, "Well, I don't want to say that because what if somebody's in the crowd and that's their favorite one? They're like,
Right.
"Well, he doesn't want to be playing this right now, so that means nothing to me." You know?
I saw the Deftones a couple weeks ago at the place that you're playing tonight, and I remember I looked at the gal. I was like, "They better play. They better play Around the Fur. I'm leaving."
We were just listening to that last night.
Yeah. I mean, when that song comes on, forget about it, man. Just go to 11, you know? Good stuff. Okay, let's get back to some tunage here. You want to kick a tune off the new record, off the first record? What do you guys want to do?
Let's do the title track off of the new album.
Excellent. The Dirty Heads,
I'm about to.
the exclusive Buzz session.